Voltron Network.
So, shall we begin?
You are now tuned into Talking at the Movies with your hosts, Eddie, Salim, and Mo.
Alright, let's do this. Talking at the Movies. We have returned for another week. I'm EDERIECE Antonio.
And I'm Mo.
What's good, Mo? What's been happening?
Wow, man, what a week. And you know, in this really busy week, I actually haven't watched that much.
Oh dear, you're the one that's always freaking carrying us across the weeks, man.
Well, I say I haven't watched much, right? I actually, and this is unfortunately going to go back to Star Trek.
Oh, fuck's sake.
But, Star Trek with a little bit of difference, right? So, remember a couple of months ago, you said to me, watch the Mirror Universe episode of Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really enjoyed it, right?
Yeah.
And then I thought, you know what? I actually gave up watching Enterprise after season 2. And it's the one show that I've never watched all the way through in the Trekverse. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch the Enterprise. So I watched a couple of episodes this week, and in hindsight, I'm actually really enjoying it. I thought the pilot episode was probably the best pilot episode of any of that era of Trek.
Mm. Yeah, I liked Enterprise. I don't really get the constant hate for it, but...
So, well, I think the first thing is it was drastically different from the likes of Next Gen, DS9, and Voyager.
I think that's why.
But I do think that hate for it has now mellowed, because now you go on the Reddit and you see lots of people saying, now I've just watched the whole series and I've actually really enjoyed it. So I think by binging it might be more enjoyable.
Yeah, no, it was cool, man. I think that's why I liked it, because it was different. I'm messed up right now, man. I still haven't really adjusted my sleep patterns.
So you literally just slept all day yesterday?
No, I tried to, but I kept only sleeping for 2-hour increments at a time. I was out Friday. Oh no, what day is it today? Sunday, ain't it?
Today's Sunday.
Yeah, oh fuck. See, I don't even know what day it is. No, I was out Saturday. You know when you come in, sometimes when you come in when you're out, you're either completely exhausted so you just pass out, or you're just kind of wired. You know, you don't really feel like sleeping yet. And it's it's not really late enough. So you feel like, it's only 12, it's only 1, it's not really that late. So let me watch something. And I started watching The Fall.
This interview has strayed way beyond its stated purpose.
And there's a voice. There's a voice saying we're losing him. We're losing him. So, there must have been at least one person who cared whether I lived or died.
That was me. That was my voice. And I did care. I thought death would be too easy for you. Too easy an escape. And I didn't want you to cheat the system. And I still don't. I want you to be punished for the crimes that you've committed. Rose Stagg was so right about you. She saw right through you. Your infantile desire to have a captive and captivated audience. You just want to be noticed. Just want to be the center of attention. To have special treatment. To make your mark. But it's all just a performance. All of it. You perform for me, for your solicitor, your doctors, your nurse, your psychiatrist, even your family. It's all just one big performance as protection against the dreaded black hole of your heart. Well, guess what, Paul? It's time to grow up. It's time to take responsibility for what you've done. Just stop this pathetic charade.
it just gripped me straight. I was right back in it, and I just thought, fuck it, I'm just gonna keep going with this. Up until when I texted you that day, I just kept powering through. Like, there's only 4 left, let me keep going. Season 3, yeah, let me just keep going. Blah blah blah. And such a great show, man.
So all I know about that show is it's got Gillian Anderson in it.
Yes, and I think the guy's name's Jamie Dormer, the guy from 50 Shades. But don't let that put you off. It's like a slow burn, but it burns hot. Damn hot.
I was going to say, the only other thing that I watched this week as well is The Toys That Made Us.
That's all you watched?
So, well, Enterprise as well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So, I watched some, I think I was just actually halfway through another episode now, but this weekend I've watched the Star Trek episode, and the He-Man episode, and I was just watching halfway through the Transformers episode. The story around the Transformers is just ridiculous.
It's crazy, isn't it? That is just a whole other thing. That they just...
It's like, starts off as G.I. Joe, becomes like a robot thing, gets sent back, turns into something else, gets sent back, and gets turned into Transformers.
It's so mad. That link from G.I. Joe to Transformers just seems like, what? How? But,
It's also, what's really insane is, like, just the difference in, like, the story between the US and Japan, where, like, Megatron in Japan is actually a good guy.
Yeah, they flipped it.
It's just, I mean, imagine having that job, like, where somebody just walks into your office and says, like, here's a bunch of toys, come up with a bunch of names of the story.
Yeah, I kept thinking that, like, that is the best fucking job, like, to write all these bios for these characters and, like, jeez.
I think doing that bit, I think I would really enjoy. Actually coming up with names, I think, would be very, very difficult.
Oh, no, I like that shit. I love that shit. You were saying, to me, like, a couple of weeks ago, that you watched some He-Man documentary. How different and similar were that episode of He-Man to the documentary?
No, I haven't actually watched it. I just said I saw it up on Netflix.
Oh, whoa, I thought you saw it.
Yeah. It's actually quite amazing to think how popular He-Man was as well, right?
Yeah.
And just then to find that it just falls off a cliff. And they literally cannot ever get, like, that sort of sales momentum going again. And they obviously had this movie coming out, and pinned all their hopes on the movie, but had absolutely no idea what the movie was about. And when they watched it, it was kind of like, well, this isn't the He-Man story we've been, like, selling.
How short-sighted could they be not to kind of have themselves as a co-producer on something like that? Just to let the studio go off and do their thing.
You know, it might be really easy for us to say, like, in hindsight, how stupid are some of these people, right? But literally, like, so many of these stories are filled with people, like, being short-sighted.
Yeah.
Or just not making, like, sensible business decisions.
It's so mad. But it's enjoyable, though, isn't it?
Oh, it's very enjoyable, because obviously these are things that you've grown up with, and just finding out this whole sort of, like, backstory about them. One other thing to give a shout out to. So, you know, Uz gave us the heads up this week about Business Wars. I just spent this weekend listening to the Nintendo versus Sony story. So it's like a 6-part podcast about, like, Nintendo versus Sony, basically. And it's so well done. They literally do, like, they've got voice actors playing, like, the different parts. And they literally spell out the story about, like, how the president of Nintendo basically reneged on a deal, how he was like this rich sort of young kid who took over the family business and literally like changed everything, how the guy behind the PlayStation was like this son of a printer who basically dreamed of working for Sony, and when he got there he was like this loud person who made loads of noise about digital being the future, and the company trying to keep him quiet and punish him for having like such a drastic view from everybody else.
Oh, so they've actually, I didn't really think it was going to be like a dramatised thing. I thought it was just going to be two guys just talking about shit.
No, it's one guy telling a story, but like every time they tell like pivotal parts of the story, they have got like voice actors like doing conversations and telephone calls and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So what's it called again?
It's called Business Wars. So they've got loads of different stories. So on there, they've got like Netflix versus Blockbuster and Nike versus Adidas. All the iconic things that you can imagine.
Oh shit, I'm gonna have to get into that then. Yeah, I saw the conversation you were having, but I didn't really pay that much attention.
It's very, very good.
Okay. Business Wars. Add that one to the list. So that was it for you. I did watch something else. Actually, a couple of things. I watched Bleach. Kind of like
the live action.
the live action Warner Brothers movie that Netflix took up, stuck on their platform. It's actually kind of interesting, but it's one that I think it helps being a fan of Bleach to watch.
And if you're not a fan of Bleach, if you've never watched it, could you watch it?
Yeah, like it gives a whole introduction to everything, but just the kind of way it kind of just flies through, or way it presents some of the characters. I don't know if you'd appreciate it as much. Like, I'd be interested to see what you think because you haven't watched Bleach, so to go in there cold, I'm curious to see what you'd think of that.
So what's the actual movie like? Is it good action? Does it have a good story, or is it?
The serious action doesn't really pick up until the last 20 minutes, but yeah, the last 20-30 minutes is just pure action.
Did you get around to like Ozark yet?
You know, I didn't. I put that on the back burner. I started watching Iron Fist.
Oh, you got Iron Fist over Ozark.
Yeah, crazy. And I watched the whole thing.
Oh no, I've actually heard people have actually been saying it's not bad, that the action scenes are better.
Dude, I like this. Now keep in mind, I hated Iron Fist the first season.
You not only hated it, but I think you really hated it.
Yeah, it was like the worst of all these Marvel shows.
Yeah.
I hated the actor that was playing Iron Fist. I thought, he was just annoying.
Yeah.
And
Does he still tend to like walk around and introduce himself as Danny Rand, the Fist, the defender of Kun Lao, whatever it is, to everyone he meets?
Yeah, not as much. He's not as annoying now, but he still has his moments.
That was literally my favourite bit, because it was almost like a retarded child just walking up to me just like that every single time.
Yeah, he hasn't got that much of the dumbness about him, but he has a bit of the sort of righteous thing that can be a bit annoying sometimes. But yeah, it's like he has a brother from Kung Lao,
right,
who was on Earth when the whole thing went down in the Defenders, which destroyed Kung Lao. So this guy's just pissed, that his home's gone, and he's legitimately from Kung Lao, unlike Danny, who just kind of went there, was discovered over there. So this guy is kind of like a revenge, that he feels he's the worthy holder of the Iron Fist, but they're kind of like have a brother relationship at the same time, so they're kind of working all that out. But the girl as well, the one, the
Jessica Hedwig.
Was that her name?
Huh?
Was that her name?
Yeah, the Asian chick, right?
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
Who wrote, with all my love on her picture for me.
Oh yeah, the one we met at the Comic Con. Yes. Yeah, she's way better in this. Like, she's way more of a character. Like, everybody's way more of a rounded, in-depth character.
I think she was the enjoyable thing of season 1.
Yeah, you're gonna love her this time then, because she gets way more in this. And
brilliant.
And the action is very good, very enjoyable. And I can't say too much about how it ends, but I think it's the first out of all of these, besides Defenders, to really have a cliffhanger, like a what the fuck, like the last episode of where everything goes. It just completely changes everything in the Iron Fist world, in the Iron Fist sort of world.
Right, so you're really making me wish that now I start it this evening now.
Yeah, just get into it, man. I enjoy it. I really do. I really like it. Really do like it.
So is there anything in there, right, that I would need to watch season 2 of Luke Cage?
How many of Luke Cage have you gotten to?
I've watched like 2 episodes, and it's a real struggle.
Has Misty Knight got her arm yet?
No.
But you know that she does, yeah?
I had no idea that she gets an arm.
Well, she gets an arm from Danny Rand in Luke Cage, and that's pretty much all you need to know.
Right,
She pops up in this now, because Rosario Dawson's no longer the sort of Luke Cage of this world anymore. I think now it's Misty Knight, because she's actually in Iron Fist a lot. Quite a lot.
Right.
But it makes sense for her being there, because it got to a bit where Rosario Dawson was like, why are you here? Like, what are you... It made sense when she was a doctor helping everyone who was broken ribs and shit, but then when it got to the point where she was fighting against ninjas and holding her own, it just was like, what the fuck are they doing? So...
Well, everyone likes Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, but why is her character a nurse fighting ninjas and holding her own against... This is dumb. So Misty Knight now, because she's a cop, it kind of... Her presence there actually makes a lot more sense. And they get a lot more into the whole China. It's actually kind of, it makes me laugh at the whole thing, because this whole Netflix Marvel thing, how they've divided up New York, where what's it? Daredevil is that sort of midtown part, the Hell's Kitchen of New York. You got Luke Cage, who's like Harlem up the top, and you've got Iron Fist, who's only Chinatown. That's his little territory. But they act like it's the world or the entire city, but it's just
like 2 blocks or something.
Yeah, it's just this tiny little corner.
Like every city block's got like its own superhero.
It's getting to that point.
Yeah.
But it gets a lot more into the whole Chinatown thing. So, because I guess one of the big criticisms is that there wasn't a lot of that Asian, because it was a bit too whitewashed in the first season. So they try and make up for it this time. But get into that, man. It's I want to have a little discussion about it when you watch it, because I like it.
Right, okay. And then one final question about this. Then is the hand heavily featured, or is that now done and dusted?
Done and dusted.
Right.
We got a whole new thing. Like I said, it's about the dude who wants to take the Iron Fist from Danny.
And did you finish watching Jack Ryan?
Nope.
Just jumped straight into Iron Fist.
Yeah.
You forgot about that.
Yeah, I did.
Damn, man. That's good. I have to get this evening.
Yeah, I went through that. I finally got my glasses now so I can see. I can go back to the cinema now.
Yeah. So you've had no glasses for a while?
For months, yeah. Because I sat on my other ones.
You sat on your old ones and you didn't bother replacing them?
Dude, glasses are expensive now, man.
They are expensive, man,
and in the process of moving and buying furniture and stuff, I really had to prioritise, innit?
Well, I don't prioritise seeing over furniture.
Yeah.
In other words, how are you going to watch all that porn?
Good point. But then just watch it close, innit? Watch it on your phone. So, another thing I did check out is a head fuck, a complete Looney Tune. And when I tell you who's like the lead actor in it, then it all makes sense. A Nicolas Cage movie that a lot of people are talking about right now called Mandy.
Under the crimson, primordial sky, the wretched warlock reached into the dark embrace. His fist closed around the serpent's eye. Strange and eternal.
I need you to get me that girl I saw. You know what to do.
You're a special one, Mandy. I, too, am a special one. Let us be so very special together.
So what you gonna do with that, man?
I'm going hunting.
So what you hunting?
It's crazy evil.
You think you're so in love? I'll show you love.
So, I actually had to double check my phone last night. When you sent me that message, I was like, I wonder if that's an autocorrect. I wonder if he means Nicholas someone else.
Nope. Nicolas Cage, being Nicolas Cage, in all his madness, but he does turn up for this one. He acts.
Right.
But he also acts crazy at certain points. But it's not a super deep concept, but it's based in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and the whole thing's even filmed in that style, so it really does feel like this old 70s movie. The music, the grading, the way it looks, the way it's shot, and it's kind of got that grindhouse vibe to it as well. And Nicolas Cage is a guy with his wife. They live out in the middle of the forest. He's a logger, and they have this perfect idyllic lifestyle, kind of hippies, and then this little travelling band of, I guess you could, inspired by the Manson and his family.
Okay.
This group of this little cult group move through, and the leader, he sees Nicolas Cage's girl walking in the forest, and he becomes obsessed. He's like, I must have her. She must be part of my family. So rather than actually just go and kidnap her or anything, he decides, because he feels himself, he's Jeremiah, I think his name is, he feels like he's like the new Jesus. But it's weird. This is where things get weird, because it crosses over into this almost from cultish to supernatural element, because they've got this whistle where they summon these 4 Hell Riders, these demonic motorbike demons.
Right.
And they do their bidding as long as they give them a sacrifice. So those Hell Riders go and kidnap Nicolas Cage's girl, bring her back. And this is all in the beginning, so it's not really spoiling nothing. And this shit ensures, you know, it turns into a whole revenge flick of Nicolas.
So when you say Hell Riders, are we talking like bike riders, or are we actually talking like demons from hell?
A combination of both. They were. I think they ensured that they were once human at one point, but then they crossed over into some. It's man. You gotta watch it, man. It's too much of a head fuck.
Right.
But they.
What's that called? Did you say Mandy?
Mandy.
Is that the name of the woman?
The wifey, yeah. So it's Nicolas Cage's quest for revenge. It's nuts, but you either love it or hate it. But I had a little fun with it, man. I ain't seen a movie like that in a long time. If you like grindhouse movies, then that's a perfect one for you right now.
Right, I'll have to check that one out. It's got Nicolas Cage, one of the finest actors of our generation.
Indeed.
So I should have really put this into the mini news, because there's not really a lot to say about this, but there was, Brad Wright was recently at a convention. So Brad Wright was a co-showrunner of Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe, and wasn't involved at all. None of the showrunners were involved in that abomination that we had recently called Origins.
Whew.
And he said that with the leadership change that's happened at MGM, they are now discussing what happens or how to bring Stargate back.
Oh, finally.
So that makes me very happy. It also makes me really happy that they're going with the original showrunners, or at least Brad Wright himself is involved in that somehow, so that they may be able to steer this in the right direction, and we don't get like that sort of student-made mini-series.
Is this also kind of official that the whole movie one is dead as well?
I would have imagined that was dead, like, even once they announced it, because it's just been so many years trying to get that project going. I know I just knew when they announced it was never going to happen. And I think the less than stellar performance of Independence Day 2 probably really put cold feet under MGM, because MGM, like, real financial trouble. And it's like, it's the director that they were going to give money to, his last feature, which really should have been a bankable success considering the original. You know, that would make anyone nervous.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
A lot of potential in Stargate. I'm actually, I want to see that done right.
Potentially coming back, yes. Whether it's a new series, a spin-off, or some straight-to DVD movies where they finish Atlantis, or do a crossover where they have a whole bunch of characters from the other shows handing over to a new series.
I want them to restart. I want them to just get it back from the beginning, man, and just kind of retell this in a grander way.
Well, like, there's so much story there already. Like, to wipe that away
That's
really
the problem,
would,
because people can't get in. People can't jump on board in this world because there's so much all this other lore.
But you can do both, though, can't you? You can start with a whole bunch of new characters and then slowly build up the story. You don't have to throw everything else away.
Yeah, but you get the whole funness of discovering the Stargate for the first time and the first team to go through. Like, that's the stuff I want to see.
Yeah, but then it's like, like having that origin story again, and I don't really want that.
Yeah, I do. X-Men, Dark Phoenix. Mo, first impressions, what did you think? It's long awaited.
So, I didn't hate it.
No,
it actually looks fairly interesting.
I know. It actually looks like a decent film.
It looks like, is this going to be like the farewell X-Men movie?
Well, yeah, it has to be, innit? Because it's the only way. You can't really... Yeah, it'd just be a clusterfuck if they tried to bring this across, but... Plus, it'd be too expensive, man. Jennifer Lawrence, all of those big-ass, Yeah, too much, too expensive. But... It's like they watched Logan, and it's like, oh, we could actually make this a proper film. Okay. and they just got some ideas and they actually took it seriously.
Yeah, it's actually like normally when I see the X-Men trailers, like yeah, that looks interesting. I'll wait till it comes on Netflix. But this actually looked interesting enough to make me think I might go and see this at the cinema.
Yeah, because it actually feels like, you know, like, yeah, with Apocalypse, it just seemed, when you see the trailers, it's just like bombastic moments of explosions and people doing their powers. In this, you hardly ever really even saw that. You just saw Jean doing a few things, but yeah, it all seemed to be character based. I like the fact that it crosses eras as well, because, you know, like when they came back for First Class, it was in the 70s, and it went to the 80s.
Yeah.
And they just keep on skipping these different. But this one seems to go right across, because we see like Jean from when she's a child to, you know, as an adult. And yeah, I'm surprised. I just expected this to be a complete mess, but okay.
So it looks like they are going to go out with a bang.
True.
So that's fairly good.
It is. Apparently, it's they're really unlike X3, because it's a similar story to what happens in X3. But this one actually sticking to the original source material of the Dark Phoenix saga. So the story is X-Men doing a mission which takes place in space. Apparently a lot of this film takes place in space. They really kept that quiet in the trailer. You don't see anything.
I was going to say, there's nothing from space in the trailer.
Yeah, you see like one shot of the Blackbird flying upwards out of the atmosphere, but it just cuts after that. But apparently he gets hit by a solar flare in the original story, and that solar flare affects Jean Grey in a particular way. It causes her to tap into her full potential of her abilities, and it also unravels her mind slightly and causes a few little, well, not even little, just a whole chain reaction in the mind and with her abilities. And she begins to lose control. And this Dark Phoenix is basically like almost like a split personality to a degree. This darker side of her, she kind of loses the grip from control. But also, they mentioned with this, whatever's happening to her also gets the attention of something out in space, which is another threat which is gonna, I guess, come to Earth. So, yeah.
So, I guess we gotta wait until trailer 2 to see that.
Yeah, they'll probably give it all away.
Yeah.
But that's a lot to fit into this 2-hour movie, though, when you think about it.
It is. And it's not even, well, I guess it's like 6 months away. It's like a February release date.
Yeah. Which, you know, used to be like the kiss of death, but, you know, Deadpool was always like a February, March date, so it's not a terrible time to release a movie now.
Yeah, well, it's bizarre though, because they are releasing it on Valentine's Day. It's not really a Valentine's movie.
Perfect date movie. No one really wants to see a Valentine's movie anymore, man. Comic book movies have crossed over enough that enough women enjoy watching these, so why not?
Well, I guess if you've got a woman headlining the film, it could kind of work.
There you go, exactly that. And but I guess you got to keep away from summer because Marvel proper kind of control the summer. Plus Warner Brothers still trying to do their thing and all the other shitty films that come out. So it's a nice little window. So yeah, okay.
I reckon. See, this whole thing about like releasing it in certain months is a kiss of death type thing. I reckon a good movie is a good movie, regardless of when it comes out.
Yeah, but for some reason that only really started to happen around the time I think Deadpool came out at that point.
Yeah, it's because people are like, people will go to the cinema.
Yeah,
if it's a good film.
Yeah, February, March used to be the kiss of death because they would literally only put out shit films at that period, so that's the only option people had. Self-fulfilling prophecy there, it's dumb. But dude, what stood out for you?
I kind of like the visual look of it, to be honest. I think it was quite consistent with what's come before, but I guess the character of like Dark Phoenix is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But I then only really know like the character from playing like the Marvel v Capcom games, so I don't really know anything about like the backstory or anything.
Yeah. Okay, and it's actually impressive as well, knowing that this is Simon Kingsberg's first film. You know, he's done a lot of writing jobs, but this is his first time as a director. And in a way, you could say he's had 2 chances because they're basically reshooting the whole movie. So you could say he's had 2 chances at getting it right.
Well, look at that! Look at the last movie that got reshot twice.
I can't even remember which one.
Oh, do a Han Solo.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh,
that did not do well.
no.
Despite actually being not a bad movie.
Very true.
Yeah.
People still seem to, it's become Solo's fallen into that little slot of every year there's a film that everyone loves to shit on.
Yeah.
And I think Solo's become that film for this year.
Is Dark Phoenix going to be it for next year?
So no.
See, the other thing that stands out about this movie, and it's probably not in a positive way, like every time you see Sandra on the screen, you can't help but just think Sandra Stark.
Yes. Yeah, because there's no real physical difference besides, the period costumes. Like, her hair's the same, she's... Yeah.
She looks identical.
Yeah.
You might as well just call her Sandra.
But then again, Apocalypse, regardless of its faults as a movie,
yeah,
Apocalypse wasn't like I didn't really think that much about Sansa during watching that film. You just accepted her for the character. So yeah, I don't think it's once you get past the 10-minute mark, it's alright. Yeah. What about Jessica Chastain? Did she look a bit strange to you with her little albino?
She did look a tad bit strange. I think I need to probably watch the trailer a couple of more times to take like all the different things in. Obviously, what's his name? James McAvoy. He's been in the press in the last couple of days because he tweeted at Patrick Stewart saying, "If you need someone to play a young Picard, I've already got. I think what did he say? Something like, I've already got experience doing this."
That would actually...
Can you imagine that? That would be so meta that they take it to another franchise and do the same thing.
That would be amazing, actually. That would be crazy. You know what? While we're here chatting about the X-Men trailer, we might as well talk about the Bumblebee trailer. Did you check that one out?
I have not, no. Somebody did tell me to check it out, but I was like, the abomination that was that first one.
Oh, it wasn't actually that terrible, but what stands out, we won't get that deep into it, but what stands out about this trailer is that they actually stuck to the original designs from the old cartoons and the actual figures. Like, they haven't turned them into this mishmash of just shards of metal, which the Michael Bay ones were, where you couldn't really make out a leg and an arm and whatever from, the background. They actually...
So they all look different now from Michael Bay.
Yeah, oh, completely. And it's like, they look like how they looked as a more slightly stylized version of how they were back in the 80s. Like, Soundwave looks like Soundwave. He actually has the tape deck chest.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, holy shit, you could see it, and it's like, that's Soundwave. I fucking love Soundwave. He had the coolest voice. Yeah, so.
And then he was able to fit more than one tape in him at a time in the cartoon.
Yeah, there was a lot of physics fuckeries with mainly with what was it? Megatron?
Oh, Megatron who turns into a gun.
Yeah, that's even as a kid I remember thinking, this does not make sense. How can this 20-foot robot suddenly turn into a little gun that his buddy can hold? Yeah, it was weird. But regardless, yeah. So Bumblebee,
So he's only looking forward to this now.
I'm not gonna say like looking forward, but I'm optimistic. I'm curious. I'm curiously optimistic. That's the word.
Optimistic crime.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. That's a nice T-shirt right there. And so that's our reviews of the trailers. Back to the show. Wow.
25.
Yeah, suddenly it's become an interesting project now.
Right, can you pronounce the new director's name?
Kari Joji Fukunaga.
That's actually not bad. That's not bad at all.
He was the guy behind, I believe, if I'm right, the first season of True Detective.
So he was an executive producer on 16 episodes, and apparently he even directed 8 of them.
Yeah.
He's also directed Beast of No Nations on Netflix,
yes,
was he direct that?
Yeah, he
did direct that. And he's just directed, he directed 10 episodes of that Maniac on Netflix. You know, the one with Jonah Hill and what's her name? There's nothing on there that screams out what this guy's going to bring to the table.
I think there is. There's quality there. He's not a throwaway director in the sense that he doesn't just make stuff for the money or blockbuster sense. He has an artsy eye. He takes his job serious.
But that's what James Bond is, right? James Bond's never been like this deep movie.
No, but I think the last couple, they have been like, when Shawn Mendes jumped on board, he kind of added a certain prestige to it in terms of how it looks and the way it's directed.
Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes. What did I say, James?
Yeah. You said Shane.
Sam Mendes, yeah. Yes, I think he added a certain respectability as far as the director goes and stayed away from the goofiness of it. So I think...
but that's like, when I always think about Bond, I always think of like a goofy, funny action movie.
No, I hate... That's what I started to hate about it. That's why I hate the Pierce Brosnan Bonds. Because it was just too dumb for me.
Like, if you think back, like, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, probably more Roger Moore rather than Sean Connery.
Yeah, that was back in the 70s, 80s. Those were fine, but with these modern, that's what I liked about the Bond now, is that it was more grittier, realer. I like that.
Are you looking more for Jason Bourne than a View to a Kill?
Yeah, very much so. So Fukunaga
could be interesting.
Definitely had some of that, quality to it. So it'd be interesting to see what influence he has on the script, though, considering who we got writing it.
Exactly. So that's like the unknown at the moment, really, isn't it? They're just going to come up with some generic crap yet again.
Yep.
It's really surprising, man. Like, Bond is just so rife for telling so many larger-than-life stories.
Yeah.
And yet they still like just keep it like so grounded, so sort of play it safe type thing.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. It's their only their biggest little thing in it for MGM. Was it MGM that got it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think it is like their biggest. I think that sort of Bond and Stargate are probably like their two biggest things that I could name. Whether it's actually.
But as far as movies go, it's Bond, because Stargate, really, even as a TV show, let's be honest, it's not massive.
Oh, for them, it was massive for them back in the day.
Come on, look at the budget on those things. It was always moderate, considering, because they knew their return on it wasn't going to be...
Yeah, but that's fine because it was on the Sci-Fi Channel as well, so, it was never going to be, like, huge, big budget stuff.
Yeah.
But what the budget they had, like, if you look at some of the stuff they did in Atlantis, man, they really pushed that budget. In fact, Atlantis still probably has one of the most impressive battle sequences ever filmed for TV.
Ugh, hated that show. And you always forget about Universe. Why do you never mention Universe? I like Universe.
Well, Universe was just cut down in its prime, really. No one really knows about it. No one really watched it. I think that's the problem with that show.
Disney and Lucasfilm are slowing down on Star Wars films and will be more careful with volume and timing. Thank God.
Ooh. So when they say slowing down on the volume of movies, what are we talking about? Are they going back to like once every 3 years?
Or 2. Yeah, 2 or 3. There's certain things that they've got on developing now that they're going to keep on developing, like the guys from Game of Thrones doing their own trilogy and so on. But they're not going to be throwing out these movies every year now. So stuff like Solo, you're not really going to be seeing down the road now, because they realised that they were just milking it too much. And even the executive who made the decision to have films every year was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. We're damaging the because they realise now that it's too precious to just be devaluing like this.
So am I now not going to get to see what happens to Darth Maul after Solo?
As far as I know, there's no way they're going to make a sequel to that. I'm hearing that even the director was saying it's unlikely now. Because
that was probably one of like the most enticing things in the whole film, the fact that the way that it ended, and that they were alluding to something far, far bigger and grander going on. Wonder if they'll pick that thread up anyway and just make it a non-Solo thing.
If they do, it'll be like one of the animated shows or something.
Oh no, man! I want like a Darth Maul with like a Khaleesi movie.
This is another one which you probably won't give that much thought to, because I keep telling you to watch the show, but you never did. Netflix is developing a live-action The Last Airbender series. I don't know how to feel about this.
Hold on, so the animated show, right?
Yes.
Has got nothing to do with like the movie that's called The Last Airbender.
Yes, it is.
So it has. So that the director of The Sixth Sense made the live-action version of the movie.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan, lang.
Yeah, I was going to pronounce it worse than that.
So he took the Nickelodeon show, the classic, and basically shit on it. Aesthetically, it was just stuff. I don't know.
So the movie is terrible, right?
Yes, it is.
And the actual animated show is not an anime, right? It's an American show.
It's an American show with an anime star, but it's American, yeah. Nickelodeon.
Right, okay. So is the animated show good then? Is that what you're saying?
I love it, yeah. Very love it.
So what is the general gist? Why should I watch The Last Airbender?
Fuck. You're getting deep in it now, man.
Avatar follows the story of the last remaining bender of air, Aang. In this world, there are special individuals who can bend the 4 elements of the world: air, water, earth, and fire. While there are many tribes of people dedicated to each of these 4 arts, Aang is the last of his tribe. He is also the mystical Avatar, because in this world, there can only be one person at a time who can master all 4 elements, and that person is the Avatar. There's a lot of mysticism here that makes the story's origin compelling. It's like how the Force and Jedi worked in the early days of Star Wars. You don't need to know how the Force works to think that it's cool and awesome. Just like here, we don't need any kind of scientific explanation on why and how bending works. Certainly don't need an explanation on why and how the Avatar exists, because that would be akin to introducing metachlorians to this series. Good thing that never happened. Right, Korra? Anyway, while we never have scientific explanations in Avatar, the show has many in-universe explanations for why things work. Also, many of the traditions of the people in Avatar were based on actual real-life cultures. Bending is an example. The 4 different kinds of bending all have their own individual martial art influence. There is much of this show that comes off as a love letter to Asian cultures, anime, to Hong Kong kung fu films. This makes the show, despite being for children, still have a kind of mature seriousness to it at times.
It's great. It's just a great show. It starts off little kiddie at the beginning, so you're thinking, why would I want to watch this? Nickelodeon. But once it kind of gets its wheels going and the story kicks in, so great. Such a great show. It's a beautiful show. And then even the spin-off is really good as well.
You like completely lost me.
No, man. Take my passion. Don't take my words. Just take my passion as gospel. And even
after that sales pitch. So Netflix is doing a live action version of this.
Yes, and I'm interested to see whether they learnt their lessons from the film. Whether they're not going to do the whole whitewashing thing. They're going to keep it authentic to the Far East cultures that the show was kind of based around.
But the show is an American show, though.
Yeah, but it was still based in that culture of Far East. That was the world that it was in.
Right.
It was all about kung fu and martial arts.
It's not based like on a manga or a comic book or anything. It is an original sort of animated show.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But it's all Eastern philosophy and culture and all of that. Curious to see how they interpret it, man. It could be good, could be amazing, could be terrible. We'll see.
Any word on when it's coming out or who's going to be behind developing it, directing it, starring in it?
Not yet. Guess developing is still at very early stages, so. But just the news that it's happening gets me interested.
Alright.
Yes. Many news.
So something broke last night, very, very late last night. I started getting alerts and messages from people. So, you know, we were talking a little while ago, obviously, about the Fox and Disney buyout.
Mm-hmm.
And we were saying that things are a little bit more complicated because Comcast wants to buy Fox and then kind of withdrew. They have literally just made what I think is the most ridiculous bid, but they have just paid $30 billion for Sky TV.
Yeah,
and I think that is all of like Sky TV across Europe. Apparently, they're saying they've just bought like 23 million customers with it. So you're now in a position where Comcast owns something like 61% of Sky, and Disney own the last 31%. And they may, I would imagine, Disney probably at this point just doesn't want to be in that business and probably will sell it to them.
Yeah, makes sense.
But the reason I put the thing on the news story here is it's just incredible. $30 billion for, I guess, something that people really are only now using to watch sports.
Pretty much. They got a few of their own little original productions.
They're not like ones that you really think about. I think in the UK at least they've got like exclusivity for all the HBO stuff.
Yeah.
But like if you went back sort of like a couple of decades ago, like all the big American shows would always be premiering on Sky One.
Yeah.
And that doesn't generally tend to happen anymore.
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, like Comcast have now got their dirty little hands on a British business, or at least in the British European sort of consumer space. So they're probably going to bring their brand of absolute crap customer service and whatever over here now.
Exactly.
And apparently one of the reasons that they've done this is that they're finding that the US market is just shrinking annually.
Cool.
Which again would just tell me, like, people who are behind this should just be aware that the same thing is going to happen here.
Yeah.
You just paid $30 billion for a market that's going to just continuously shrink.
And partly the reason why it's shrinking is because they're so shit at their jobs that they treat their customers so bad and just give a terrible service. Like, whoa. It's just short-sightedness, man. These people are dumb.
Yeah, absolutely.
So damn dumb. So, what's this dude then? Henry Winkler. Tell me about him.
So, Henry Winkler wins his first Emmy in 40 years in his entire career for Barry. Do you know who Henry Winkler is?
I know the name, but I can't.
Oh my lord, he's the Fonz.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, but of course, yeah, but what's he going to win an award for up to this point, be honest?
Well, no, I mean, like, you look at the Emmys, it's like almost everybody who's been in TV has won an Emmy.
Yeah, but what's he done that's prestigious enough to win any award, including the Emmy? He's never really been in good stuff.
Yeah, but he's like always been one of those sort of actors that when he is in something, you always remember him. You remember him as the lawyer in, like, Arrested Development. He was brilliant in that.
Yeah, I guess.
And then he was absolutely superb in Barry for being the acting coach.
Yeah, he was good in that.
Yeah, he was absolutely superb. Like the way he just like the way he was with the cops, the way he like truly believed like that Barry was there to learn acting, and just truly saw that he like was like he wanted people to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves something after all these years. It's more like a greatest achievement thing than a award for a particular role, because he has been around so damn long.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Fonz, damn. Hey, damn. So yeah, that's nice. I'll try to stick the speech up here if I can find it. So Star Trek miniseries, your favourite subject.
Shorts. Right, Star Trek. Like I said, we really should have like the whole Star Trek section. So CBS just announced Thursday evening that they are bringing 4 Star Trek shorts, one every month as of October. So October, November, December, and I think you'll get one in January. These are like 15-minute episodes based around a particular character. They obviously seem to be stretching the idea of what a miniseries is. But the most damning thing really is I think Netflix have already come out and said that they don't have the rights to show this.
Oh, shit.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Obviously, to like most of us, it probably won't matter because we'll find a way to watch it anyway.
Yep.
But we haven't gone down the road of like geo-locking the trailer on YouTube.
That's so dumb. I don't even a trailer. A fucking trailer. Why would you geo-lock a damn trailer? It's so dumb.
So, again, it's kind of like dumb business decisions here. Like, CBS All Access just doesn't exist in most locations. So, what are you going to do? You're going to expect people to pirate this, really, aren't you?
Of course.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's, Discovery characters?
So they are Discovery-based. So, I think one revolves around Saru, one revolves around Tilly. There is one about a new character, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. It's about Harry Mudd, or Maud.
Yeah, people going on about him coming back. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, he seems to be like quite the big Trek fan, because he's been posting pictures from the set this week of him like hanging around with like Green Orion girls. So he does seem to be like quite the fan. It's interesting. They obviously want to give us something before the new season 2 premieres. But I just kind of always find like these short, 15-minute short things, like 5-minute web episodes. I just find them annoying more than anything else.
They don't really add that much to it.
Exactly, and I think when I was having a conversation with somebody, someone goes, "Oh, this is like what they did with like Battlestar Galactica." And there's webisodes between season 2 and 3, and I was like, "Well, there you go. I've never seen them." Yeah.
I remember like even Dexter did this as well. Had like little weird webisode things. It was like, what's the? I think it all comes. You know where it all started? The Matrix. Animatrix.
Oh yeah, they used to do all those little Animatrix shorts.
Yeah, that's where all this stuff started, and that's when people started doing these little mini things.
Yeah, I guess they just want to keep the momentum going because they don't want it to be like a whole year and there's no new Star Trek.
Yeah, true. So, what's this one, Mo? Next one, Robert.
So, Robert Englund, a.k.a. Freddy Krueger, is donning the Krueger makeup and outfit again for the first time in 15 years to be in this season's Halloween episode of the Goldbergs. So you don't actually watch the Goldbergs, do you?
I haven't for a long time, man. You keep mentioning these like special episodes they do, so I might have to kind of just watch these episodes individually.
Yeah, they do some good special ones. But again, like, you know, obviously Krueger is like quite iconic from the 80s, so it'll be very interesting to see how they incorporate him, whether he's actually a fully fledged character or he's just somebody who appears for like seconds.
I'm presuming he's gonna be. They're gonna have nightmares. He's gonna be Freddy in their nightmares as the characters.
Oh, yeah. I'm imagining something like that. Like Adam's been watching TV and he's scared and he goes to sleep and he starts dreaming of Freddy.
Yeah.
They do those types of episodes very, very well.
But the thing is, will it top Rick and Morty's Freddy inspired episode? Remember that one where they were jumping into the dreams of that guy that was like Freddy?
Nothing can really top Rick and Morty's inspired episodes on anything.
We'll see. Superhero news. Mo, did you see this? The Joker footage?
I have seen the Joker footage.
Interesting.
And it actually does look really good. Joaquin Phoenix actually looks crazy enough to be the Joker. Like, you could look at that face, and you could say, yeah, this guy has got, like, psychological issues, and he could become, like, somebody like the Joker.
It is a weird little thing, man. There's so much... Yeah, you know, we spoke a lot about how this universe has become a bit over-convoluted, even though this is a whole separate thing, but, you know, the fact that there's so many different offshoots of, you know, the DC worlds. Because there's even the Titan show. Did you see any of the test footage of the Batman that's going to be in the Titan show?
I have not, no.
Yeah, they're showing like costume tests, so that's going to have a Batman in that as well.
So you can have a Batman in anything you want now, can you?
Yeah, so you got Batman in that. You've got whatever Batman's going to be in the films, which may not be Affleck anymore, depending on who you believe, because he may have quit. And then I don't know whether they're going to have any allusion to it in the Joker film, but he looks interesting. His hair's a bit long, he might be a bit old, but he could be. I reckon it's going to be a good film.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, just from that test footage and the pictures that have appeared online, it looks interesting. In fact, I've got to say, I'm probably more interested in this than any of the other DC movies currently in production.
Yeah. They've gone for more of a classic clown look as well. It may not be like the final makeup for the main character, but you see him with like full-on...
But that actually is harking back to more of what I imagine the Joker to be, right? Because obviously my first exposure to the Joker was like from the 60s show, and then obviously you have like the Michael Keaton era Batman. Yeah.
So I think this could be good. It could be interesting, man. I'm interested. A lot of cool on-set photos as well of him going around doing weird little things and laughing. So alright.
But he really looks as though he's drawn himself into the role, because you don't look at those pictures and you don't look at him and think, oh, that's Joaquin Phoenix. You look at him and think, that's the Joker. Yeah,
but he's one of those actors, isn't he? He's one of those ones that legit transforms and creates a character, you know. So, yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Disney Play, new Marvel TV shows revealed.
Yeah, so Disney, remember a couple of weeks ago, Disney revealed their plans, and I wasn't very impressed, and there was only really the Star Wars stuff that was coming, that was going to be exclusive to it. Well, this week, they've just revealed that they are going to be doing some Marvel-based live-action TV shows, right? And we're not just talking live-action shows. We are talking big budget. We are talking based on Scarlet Witch. We are talking based on Loki. And we are talking the actors playing these people in the big screen adaptations will be like taking the roles on the small screen.
How many of these have been confirmed now?
So those are the only two that were mentioned in the press release, but I'd imagine like that we are just at the beginning stages here, that more will be either announced or that they'll pick on these two, see how they go, and then ramp out from there.
So it's confirmed then that we're going to have a Scarlet Witch played by Elizabeth Olsen TV show.
So that's the bit that's, I think, in the press release that was a little bit ambiguous, right? But they are alluding to that these will be short seasons, so they won't be like 22 episodes or whatever, and it's more than likely that the actors playing these in the main movies will reprise their roles.
And what was the other one?
Probably, so there's Loki.
Loki. What the hell are you going to do with Loki? He's dead.
Wow, is he? Is Loki dead?
If he ain't dead, I'm going to be pissed off with the character now because he's died too many times. Go.
Do you think he's not going to be back in Infinity Wars Part 2?
Well, yeah, but it kind of rewinds the timeline, so I think, yeah, he can be, but that's just annoying, man. Just done.
Well, you know, like this whole thing happened, like when Spock died and he came back to life, you know, it was all bets off after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is interesting, actually. So, you know, they really going to look as though they're going to come out, like, all guns blazing. It's going to be way...
Who's in charge of this, though? Is Feige still, like, behind the driver's seat?
So, I believe Feige is behind this. So he's now taking control of this part of the TV universe. So this is going to be very tied to the actual sort of MCU. So unlike, say, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all the other shows, where they kind of acknowledge that the wider universe is there, they don't really get to interact.
Yeah.
There was actually some rumour saying that, you know, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is supposed to end next season, but they may be ending it so they can move it over to the streaming service to incorporate it into this universe.
That'd be interesting.
Which kind of makes sense, really.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
And keeping with the Disney and the Kevin Feige, obviously a lot of people have been wanting to know what's happening with the X-Men franchise now that the Fox-Disney deal is happening.
Yeah.
So Bob Iger has been on record this week, and he basically said that Kevin Feige is going to be put in charge of the X-Men franchise as far as, like, big screen features are concerned. So make of what that of you will, whether he will now be in charge of incorporating that into the MCU, or whether they'll keep it as a separate franchise, which I very much doubt, because you'd really want to capitalize and bring it into your bigger sort of movie universe.
But I don't know. I'm still mixed about it, man. Very much so. Because there's only.
Is that
because they can only make so many movies per year, and X-Men is so big and over-encompassing that he kind of muscles out all of these other smaller things that we get to see. Like, we won't have films like the Ant-Mans and the, you know, because there wouldn't be space for them.
So would you rather that the X-Men stay separate?
I would, but then I like the idea of it having like a parallel universe type thing, like a multiverse, so that it crosses over in that way, like I've mentioned a few times before. So that way we could have...
I think you'll always get those little types of movies, because I think they've been on record of saying, like, we've got, I say, like 5,000 characters, and we're going to make a movie of every single one of them.
Yeah, but in the 12-month year cycle, they can only put out so much.
Well, they could put out, like, a movie every month.
Yeah, they won't do that, because then the quality becomes garbage, man. That just ruins it.
You just have, like, 12, I mean, like how Disney is now, man. You just have, like, 12 production teams.
That's too much, though. It's too much. One person can't really keep hold of the consistency of all that. It just becomes a clusterfuck. Look at Star Wars. They couldn't do one a year.
I think Star Wars has been really mismanaged. I think the people behind it don't really understand what the fans actually want. Or not what the fans want, rather what would make a good tale. No one actually sat down and said, we should actually intricately plot out a 3-picture movie arc.
Yes, man. So, it'll be good. It'll be good to see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, Netflix Daredevil season 3. We've got like a little teaser out there. I've stayed away from it. Don't want to watch it yet.
So this is just like overload, right? You know, we were just talking about, obviously there's too many movies coming out, like, say, if they try to do like 12 Marvel movies. Literally, in the last, 3 months? Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and then next month you've got Daredevil. Yeah,
I know think they've finished filming Punisher now, so that's going to be coming soon, and Jessica Jones is still coming.
Yeah. I haven't even watched Luke Cage yet, and they've like got another 2 shows out.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see how they're going to bring Daredevil back, though. Like I said, I haven't watched the teaser. I stayed away. I want to watch the proper trailer, or may just wait till the show starts completely.
Why are you concerned about how they bring him back?
Because I just want to see, curiously, how they do it and whether it works, you know.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Daredevil, both season 1 and 2 were really good.
No, but I mean, you've seen Defenders, ain't you?
Yeah, I've seen the Defenders.
Yeah, remember Daredevil dies. So I want to see how that process has been coming back.
I actually can't remember what happened at the end. How did he die?
He was in the whole thing where everything collapsed when they destroyed Cole.
Yeah. You know, there's obviously a way. I'm sure that's probably already been in like the comics or something. Or
nah, because even in Iron Fist, they refer to it that part of Bryan running himself into the ground is that he made a promise to Murdoch to take care of the city while he was gone.
Yeah, while he was gone.
Yeah.
Well, alluding to his coming back.
Well, not quite, but yeah. So yeah, it'd be October, not far away actually. Shit.
It was exactly. That's what I'm saying. It seems to be like in a space of 3 months, 3 different shows.
Alright. But that's good. But then is it though? Because even though it worked for Iron Fist, for you it didn't work for Luke Cage, even though I felt it was better than the first season.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jessica Jones is the one that really needs to step up, because I think that's really kind of grinding to a halt, because it's just not. Season 2 wasn't great at all.
It had its peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
There was like some good stuff. There was some not so good stuff, but I didn't struggle to finish it.
Yeah, but it's got a different showrunner now, so hopefully that will give new life to it.
Yep. But like you're saying, if Iron Fist season 2 has been dramatically improved to the point where you actually enjoyed it, that's good.
Yeah.
Hold on, did that only just come out on Friday?
No, that came out like 2 weeks ago now.
Right, okay, right. I was going to say, otherwise, you've really raced through that.
It's been a while. Bryan Singer looking to direct a new film adaptation of Red Sonja. So he's looking to come out of his little shame cupboard.
So I saw that, and I was just trying to think. Hold on a minute, didn't he get kicked off the set of like the Freddie Mercury movie? Didn't he do a runner recently?
Yeah, because he had to hide because of his all the allegations of him, you know, having sex parties with underage boys and all that shit.
So, I'm guessing, has that all been sorted out now?
Well, I guess it's been a few months. No charges have been brought, I don't think. So he hasn't really been, you know, arrested for anything. So I guess, you know how these things work. You wait a couple of months, you hide, and you can come out in the shadows, and everyone's forgotten. They're on to the next Kardashian story. So yeah, he's looking to come out and direct Red Sonja. It's not like hasn't been officially scheduled yet, but I think that's what he seems to be fishing out there.
So do you think that this is going to harm him now? Do you think that people would want him associated with their product?
I think the production company seems to be interested in wanting him. But I think once this becomes more general mainstream news, that's when you could start seeing people come up and be like, what? No. And you start seeing people trying to protest and all that shit.
Well, I would say, like, if you were in charge of a studio and had to hand over, say, like 100, 150 mil, you would be very, very sort of, not foolish,
wary.
But you would have to really think, very wary, that's a very good, what I was trying to say, of handing a man who's been involved in so much of controversy that much money to go and make a movie that is going to get hammered by the press.
That's the thing, you roll the dice, innit? Because if you're not a massive company, which I don't think this studio is,
right?
Then, you know, what do? You give it to an unknown director that's in your budget who doesn't bring that many eyes to the project, so it falls under the radar like a Dread does. Or you give it to someone who will get press, guaranteed, and you just hope that it goes to the whole no bad press is bad, or what the fuck it, you know.
Well, you say that. What happened to what's his name? Who's ate like $29 or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but he was well, yeah. That's a little different, though, because he was confirmed to have done it, and he admitted to it openly.
Well, he tried to spin it, didn't he? As in, like, saying, if I wasn't aware of it, I was very drunk, yada, yada, yada.
Yes. Whereas Singer's
Bryan Singer just did a fucking... He just did a runner.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's only a matter of time before he comes back, though. What's his face? Fuck. Lethal Weapon guy.
Sorry?
Lethal Weapon guy, what's his name?
Lethal Weapon guy. Who? Mel Gibson?
Mel Gibson, that's it. Yeah, he came back.
Yeah, but he hasn't really come back, though, has he? Oh. He's, like, really on the fringes on the outside. He's not, like, doing big blockbuster stuff. And I think there's a lot of people that are still very, very annoyed with him. And I don't think he's ever really properly apologised for it as well. Like, he's gone on to say it was like a drunken rant type thing, but I don't ever recall ever hearing something where he said, no, what I've said is wrong, that was really, really, like, I was going through, like, a really bad time, but there's no excuse, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Definitely not admit to it, but...
Yeah.
Well, it was only a matter of time, so we'll see.
Yeah.
So, is that pretty much it?
So, that's it for the news items. We do have, like, some tweets and a post-credit.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you look stunned. People still love us, Eddie. People still love enjoying listening to us.
Yeah. I put it up on YouTube the other day, actually, so it's interesting to see the new people coming on from that.
Righty-ho.
So
we've had, like, Akila tweet at us about last week's episode, and she goes, I really like the look of the Sabrina trailer. It looks better than Riverdale, but then she does question, how did I not know that Sabrina was based on an Archie comic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mo, shame on you.
So I have to admit, I've never actually read any of the Archie comics.
Nobody has, but it's still something that we know. We've seen the sort of the zeitgeist.
And our buddy Cameron has emailed us.
Welcome back.
It's been a while. And he says, hey guys, what's up? Your podcast doesn't feel the same without Salim. There seems to be something missing. Maybe you can find someone to fill Salim's position. So basically, I think we need someone to talk about, or we need to talk more about wanking and stuff. That really seems to be missing.
Why would you read an email that complains that the show ain't good?
No, you just think something is missing. But, I'm sure Salim, once he gets settled, and he gets his routine and he stops sightseeing, he will dial in at some point, I'd imagine.
Yeah. No, he'll come back soon. Maybe.
Yeah. But he seems to be enjoying himself out there at the moment. We've obviously seen, like, his tour operator shenanigans.
Yes, you've been putting those up. You've been putting those up on Insta and Twitter.
I haven't put that up on Twitter.
Okay.
Some of the videos I need to go and look through that he sent through the last days to see what on earth can go up.
Yeah, right.
The TV topic. So he says, I've just finished watching Ozark. Really enjoyed it. I think my favourite character might have to be Ruth. I think I have to agree with Cameron here. Like I said, I think Ruth was very much one of my favourite characters in season 2. She just has this really tragic arc. He goes, I've also heard about Avatar's Last Airbender getting a live-action series on Netflix, and I'm really excited about it. Hopefully they don't whitewash it, and they better keep it faithful to the original. What are your thoughts?
There you go.
Yep. Obviously, we've just discussed that at length. And here's one that's actually been a lot of people been talking about. He goes, have you seen the Mayans MC spin-off show from the Sons of Anarchy? And if not, check it out. Want to know your opinion about it, and did you watch all the Sons of Anarchy?
See, I was a big Sons of Anarchy fan, loved it. I was going to get into watching this, but then I realised you haven't watched Sons of Anarchy, so I can't really chat about it with you.
I have not, and I've also heard other people's discussions about this one, and a lot of it seems to revolve around how ridiculous a lot of the bikes look. Like with their massive handlebars.
Have you not seen these sort of custom, American bikes? They are. You never watched the American Chopper?
I've never watched the American Chopper, no.
Oh, jeez. Well, you're missing out, man. These bikes are crazy.
I was going to say, I'm not really into bike culture.
Nor have I, but once you start watching it, I remember when I started watching Sons of Anarchy, I wanted to buy a motorbike. I really considered it.
But and have you bought a motorbike?
No.
Then he goes on to say, I've watched the second season of Iron Fist. It was definitely an improvement over season 1. The martial arts were better.
Yep.
Also, it is a shorter season, which is good. Again, this just gives me more ammunition to probably go and start it this evening.
Yeah.
And then he brings up a really good point. He goes, are you guys watching Better Call Saul? If not, why? It's a very good show. The tie-in to Breaking Bad and the characters from Breaking Bad showing up. I have seen season 1.
I saw season 1. And I just...
But for some reason, I haven't watched any more.
I didn't hate season 1, but I didn't love it either. I don't know, I just didn't... Yeah.
No, but it's on season 4 now, and apparently it's supposed to be, very good.
Yeah, I don't know, it keeps going, but... I don't know, I just never fell in love with it, but maybe it's worth going back to.
Yeah, I was going to say, one season probably is very difficult to judge a show, so I should probably go back and continue. So I've got, on the top of my list at the moment, it's going to be Iron Fist, Better Call Saul, and I still haven't done season 2 of, what's that Amazon show with the alternative universe, so Man in the High Castle.
Oh, shit, you ain't on season 2 yet?
No, and I think season 3 is going to be dropping in a couple of months.
Yeah. Dude, Mo, you got to catch up, man.
Oh, I've got to catch up, man. It's all this damn Star Trek.
Yeah, put that on the back burner. That's your homework for this week. Huh? At least 2 shows. Iron Fist.
2 shows.
Dude, Iron Fist ain't that much.
I don't know about that. I get time to watch 1 episode or something in the evenings.
You can watch some shit on the train, can't you? When you're going to work.
What I use a train for is sleeping.
Yeah, rubbish.
Movie topics. I have to say, I was not very impressed with Captain Marvel's trailer. It looked very cheap. Also, Brie Larson's acting was very wooden.
That was something which I didn't actually mention, but yeah, she did seem a bit... There's a lot of memes going on where in that little... I don't know how many seconds that whole Joker screen test was, but they're saying that Joaquin Phoenix had more emotional range than Brie Larson did in the whole 3 minutes of that trailer. And it's literally, she had the same face for the whole thing.
Those MCU movies aren't really known for their high caliber of acting.
She's an Oscar winner.
Yeah, but it's probably going to be very difficult to bring that quality out with a level of script that one of those MCU movies
I don't know, man. I think because you look at Captain America films, they've had good stories that had emotional impact for some characters, so they do act. Acting is.
Yeah, but they're not I think it's going to be very difficult to tell from a teaser trailer.
Yeah.
She doesn't really get a lot of dialogue. There's lots of quick takes, cutaway shots.
Yeah.
I'd say wait for a bigger trailer or a longer trailer that shows more stuff off.
Yeah.
Yep. Did you guys see the Joker set footage? Looks like Joaquin Phoenix is going to deliver with this role. Maybe he'll get nominated for an Oscar. Who knows? Yep. So we've just discussed that at length. And he goes on to ask, Henry Cavill is still Superman according to his manager, and Ben Affleck may still be Batman since he recently met with the CEO of Warner Brothers.
Yeah, but even if he stops being Batman, he'll still hang out because he makes his films. I think he does some sort of deal with Warner Brothers because he's, remember, he's a director as well.
Yeah, but that does really seem... Ben Affleck's stock seems to have really gone down after these movies because no one really talks about him anymore.
Yeah, it's damaged him, definitely. And Live by Night as well didn't do well, so...
I think what he needs to do is he needs to team up with Kevin Smith again. Bury the hatchet with whatever happened with their friendship, bury that, and just do another movie together.
Did you hear that Kevin Smith with the new Silent J and Bob movies, whatever the fuck they're called? He had to take out a whole bunch of all the fat jokes because he ain't fat no more.
Hold on, so is that movie still happening?
Apparently.
Oh, really? Right.
I think it's either a movie or a TV show, one or two, but he said with a script for that, with them two actors, he had to take out all the...
I think he gave up on doing a TV show because, I can't remember what the reason was, and I would have thought he'd be too busy to do a movie now with a show every day on DC.
The guy wants to have another heart attack, he'd swear. He just wants to do it.
He's a very hard-working guy, that dude.
It's ridiculous. And the weed smoker, which seems quite counterintuitive to being able to work hard.
Exactly, but he is now. Well, I don't know if has he given that up?
Nah.
Because he is also now a vegan.
Yeah, you don't need to give up smoking weed though.
I think it'd be easier to give up smoking weed than giving up meat.
Not for him.
Cameron's also given us some gaming topics, because obviously we touched a little bit on some Nintendo news last week. He goes, how would you guys rank the Grand Theft Autos? I've just recently started playing them again, and I'm very surprised that they haven't made a Grand Theft Auto film.
I think there was talk about that for a while, but it never happened, didn't it? They did make like a movie with Elijah Woods. Was it a miniseries or a movie where it was kind of like the behind the scenes of how that whole thing came about?
So, I don't remember that, but I think the problem of making a movie about Grand Theft Auto is, well, I haven't actually played any of the modern ones. Is there actually like a story with a character that you follow?
Yeah, very much. Since it went into 3D, once it stopped being like a top down, they had very extensive stories. Very extensive.
So, but are these stories continuations from game to game, or is it always a new story?
It's a different lead character with each game, but there is a certain amount of interweaving here and there, but they stand alone very much. But I think Vice City is still special to me. That's the one that kind of stuck with me the most, as that was like the first one that kind of revolutionized the whole franchise. But then San Andreas was awesome as well. They're all good, man.
That is crazy. The current Grand Theft Auto, was it Grand Theft Auto 5 or whatever, I think might be one of the biggest selling video games of all time. It's like hit like 80 million copies or something.
Yeah, they're massive, man. I remember people just not turning up to work whenever the new games came out. They just wouldn't turn up.
Yeah, but it's like, if you think how old that game is now, right? If you look at the video game charts, it's actually always in the top 10, even like 5 years later.
Really?
It's ridiculous. Like, it never leaves the top 10. People are just buying it week after week.
That's a great game.
Generally, but as I say, generally most games like disappear out of the top 10 like within like a couple of months.
Certain games though, they just sink into that whole cultural zeitgeist, man. It's like the Medal of Honor and I guess what is this? The FIFA as well. Certain ones that just doesn't really matter how many of them come out. They're just people always go for them.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is like FIFA will sell all year, but it won't sell enough units to sit in the top 10 that whole time.
That's actually surprising.
Yeah, whereas sort of Grand Theft Auto 5 is still selling enough each week to be in the top 10.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And he goes, if you guys could take a film or a TV show and turn it into a game, which one would you choose? I know I'd like to make a proper PlayStation open world game, or some Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones would be that'd be wicked, like a Witcher type in the Game of Thrones world. You could even do like a GTA version of like Breaking Bad, which would be kind of cool.
Where you got to go around cooking meth and then sell it.
Yeah, and you're building up your gangs and your crew and going to rivals. Yeah, it's perfectly made for a GTA type game.
And then you have to take out your rival gangs, and you basically have to become the kingpin.
Yeah, basically, that is pretty much Grand Theft Auto.
I was going to say that is Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. You start off as a low-level operative and move your way up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, what else would there be? Battlestar Galactica never got a game, did it?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Yeah, wouldn't mind that.
I guess anything really. I mean, if you're like into those story-driven games, which I really am not, I really haven't got time for those, time and patience for something like that. I guess you could probably turn anything into a decent game.
And I want to get into the whole VR shit, man. So that's something I have to delve into one day.
Or you're one of those kind of guys that gets motion sickness from that sort of things.
No, but they've sorted that. They've improved the whole latency and all of that stuff, so it's not an issue anymore. That's like...
Oh no, it's very much not an issue.
I remember when it first came out, the first sort of generation of it was really bad.
I don't think... Well, whilst things may have improved now, I think you'll find that the tech will still make people sick.
Well, did you have a problem when you did that Star Wars thing?
No, that was fine actually. That was very much a case of we're still moving around, and I don't think you were. You did wear a helmet and you did see things, but I was absolutely fine with that.
There you go.
I think it's more of those ones, you know, where you're stationary and things are moving around you. I think that would make me sick.
Yeah, but you're still moving your head around. That's the big issue.
Oh, I don't know, mate. I like I said, like I can get motion sickness from playing like first-person shooters.
So you want to give out an email if they want to get in contact with us?
Right, guys, if you want to email us, we are at tatmpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to tweet at us, we are at TalkingMovies3.
Mm-hmm. And guys, go.
I was going to say, I have like posted a couple of things on our Instagram page as well this week, so that's just Talking at the Movies.
Go iTunes, give us 5 stars, give us a review. We're on Spotify, we're on all sorts of places. We're even on YouTube now, back up on there. No video yet. People asking us whether we're going to put videos back up, but there's kind of no point because then we'd have to have 2 setups on Mo's side and my side. So unless you want to stare at my face, it's kind of pointless, really.
And then basically that means, you know, I've got to do my hair, got to do my makeup, got to look all professional.
Exactly. But yeah, you know. But, you know, we'll keep doing our shit. So, from me, EDERIECE.
And from me, Mo.
See you later, guys.